What's going on? Hey, 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 get down, get down, get down, get down.
In today's video, we're going to be reviewing and discussing the recent police-involved shooting of Ma'Khia Bryant. Hey folks, Eric Moser here with Code Red Conversations. Thanks for joining me. If you appreciate content that helps you better understand the police use of force and the decision-making process that an officer goes through while attempting to engage in the use of force, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my future content. Now, there isn't a whole lot known about the details of this video, of the shooting, but the good thing was that the Columbus Police Department released some early body cam footage, so that helps us tremendously. We're going to go into a press conference conducted by who I believe is the Chief of Police for the Columbus PD. I'll offer some comments and then we'll jump right into the video. Just to give you a heads up, it is graphic, but I will be blurring out much of the content.
What we will be able to show you is the basic information that we have from our records. These are only gleaned from information that we have available to us. We do not interfere with BCI's investigation, so no information was obtained through witness interviews or officer interviews.
It's going to be a little bit difficult to hear the Chief of Police, I think that's his title, because of him wearing his mask.
At approximately 4:32 this afternoon, officers were dispatched to 3171 Legion Lane. The information was that a caller said females were there trying to stab them and put their hands on them. Dispatchers tried to obtain information about weapons, but were unable to gather that information. Officers were dispatched at 4:36 and arrived at 4:44. We will play the first video in real time.
So just to add a little bit of perspective before we proceed into the body cam footage, we'll get right into it, I promise. You are the officer who have been assigned to this call, and you are given limited information, but you do know, or you are being told, that someone is attempting to stab someone and put their hands on them. You don't know what kind of weapons are involved, and you're expected to respond to the scene of this alleged crime. Think about that. That's all the information that you have. You're trying to come up with a game plan. You arrive on the scene, and this is what you see.
What's going on? Hey, 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 get down, get down, get down, get down.
I'm going to show it again in slow motion because there's a lot going on, and I really want to help people understand the dynamics of everything that's happening and to help people understand the decision that the officer made. So I'm going to let it play through for a few more minutes, and then we're going to show it again in slow motion, and hopefully that'll help clarify things. And of course, the crowd starts to get riled up and angry and upset. But you, as an officer, all you know is that you arrive on scene and you see people fighting and being attacked. And there's a knife on scene, and you might have missed it had you not been paying attention. People are saying this guy just yelled, she was an effing kid, but you still have the reality of her attempting to stab someone. And you, as an officer, have a duty to protect life. And I know this may be a shocker to some out there, and I say this with a little bit of sarcasm, but a child, a young person, can still stab someone, kill someone, or cause substantial bodily harm. That is a reality. There are kids right now locked up for murder. I know there's some people out there who want to act like if you're a child that you're incapable of causing harm, but I don't know what world you're living in, but the world I've seen, the experiences I've had over the years, and particularly throughout my law enforcement career, kids can be as equally dangerous as an adult. But as you can see, the officers are already attempting to render aid. Knife right here. Knife right here. Now we're going to jump back into this thing in slow motion so you can have a better understanding of what exactly went down. And once again, the officer doesn't have this benefit. He doesn't have the benefit. He or she who's on the scene doesn't have the benefit of slowing things down or hindsight. You arrive on scene, sometimes you have to respond, and you have to respond quickly in order to save a life. And deadly force can be used and justified to help save the life of another human being. Just in case there's any questions about that.
Well, then I'll show you the video in slow motion so you can see what the video shows is the female with the knife attempting to stab the first female that lands on the ground and then the second female that is pushed against the vehicle.
So she attempted to stab two people. You just arrived on scene. And I think the officer quickly observed that she had a gun in her hand or knife in her hand because he quickly drew his gun. Now you got this dude about to kick this chick in the head. So you have two situations happen. And right here, knife in hand, drawn back, getting ready to swing towards someone, getting ready to stab this chick or slash her. And then the officer responds. He does what he has to do. He did what he had to do to stop the threat. I don't say that with joy in my heart, but I see people online, the typical race baiters, your Sean Kings, posting nonsense like this. This is Ma'Khia Bryant, a child. She was 16 actually. And like all kids her age, she liked making hair care videos showing off her routine. He posts a TikTok video of her doing hair. Trust me, with 4 daughters, I see them all the time. And today, police shot and killed her. No context whatsoever. I don't care what happened. That automatically disqualifies you from the public discourse. If you have the nerve to comment on these police interactions, these police uses of force, and one of your primary arguments is, I don't care what happens. To me, you are a fool. You are dangerous. And you have no place. You have no place in the public discourse, in the debate, to sit up there on your high horse and try to question what a police officer has to do or sometimes forced to do. That cop didn't show up that day and say, I'm going to shoot me a black woman or a young black girl. He showed up and he responded based on what he saw. That's what happened. But yet you'll have these buffoons out there stirring up the crowd, getting millions of retweets and follows and likes. And then you'll have Trevor Noah, as I did a video on him earlier, talking, blaming the police. But yet none of these people have an ounce of courage to step in and do that job, or even step in and do some of the training. None of these people have that. None of these people will ever be forced to do something like that. But yet, again, they want to be judge and jury of all things law enforcement. It's sickening to me. Let me proceed with these crazy comments. Had her life mattered to the police, he has the nerve to say, they would have found a way to see that she helped instead of harmed. How are you going to find a way when you arrive on scene and within seconds of your arrival, you see this girl trying to stab two people and you're watching someone getting kicked in the head? What were they supposed to do? That's what I want to hear from these people. Shaun King, how would you have handled it? And then what would have happened had you sat back and let it take place and let it go on, or tried to disarm her and you end up getting stabbed, slashed, disemboweled, or that other girl got killed? Well, how would you handle that? And if that officer did that, you probably would still blame that officer because you're saying he should have done something to stop it. People like you are the problem. People with this mindset are the problem. And then he finally says, nearly 75 people have been killed by the police since the trial of Derek Chauvin started. It's just so much. It's just too much. No, again, no context whatsoever. What were those 75 people doing? Did he even care to ask that? Of course not. Of course not. He has millions of people following him because there are people out there that actually look at this guy like he knows what he's talking about. Once again, y'all, there is very little information. Let's let the video play a little further, and I'll let the chief of police, I'll let him talk and give a little bit more details on the nature of the call.
And the information was that a person called in and indicated that someone was trying to stab them and put their hands on them. The 911 call will reveal that there was a large commotion going on in the background, and the dispatchers had tried to obtain as much information as they could, but weren't successful in gathering a lot of information. That'll have to be a BCI question and through their investigation. This officer will be taken off the street. Decisions about policy will come with the conclusion of the criminal investigation. That is, that criminal investigation will take place. Once that's concluded, this for policy compliance or violation. I do not have any information about injuries to the other victims of the scene.
I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Do you think this was an appropriate use of force? Do you think the officer was out of line? Personally, I don't think that there is anything worth debating. The officer was forced, his hand was forced, and he had to respond and he had to act quickly, and I think he acted appropriately. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And from what I hear so far, there already was protesting last night because people, once again, all they have to hear is that a police officer shot someone, and particularly a black person, and they get all up in arms. But I give props to the Columbus PD for putting out the body cam footage as quickly as possible. But again, comment down below, share your thoughts. Tragic incident, tragic situation, no doubt. But we really have to start thinking rationally and stop reacting emotionally to these events. Find out what's going on, gather more information, and then respond accordingly. But again, we're living in a time where emotion runs everything. How you feel matters more than any fact. It really shows the sad state that we're in as a country right now. Once again, comment down below. In the meantime, stay safe, God bless, and make sure you join the conversation.